to your yoga class. Alicia here. Today we're going to be doing a Yin Yang class. So it's going to be heated and cooling. We're going to really be focusing on settling any extreme reason or extreme emotion. Settle down those two. Whether you're experiencing one or the other, perhaps you're even experiencing a little bit of both, but we're gonna help settle those energies, really bridge them together so that we can activate and find and embody our wise mind. So go ahead and get seated. If you want to pause me real quick and throw on some sound healing or some chill tunes or whatever fits your fancy, go for it. I've got 2 blocks with me here today. You may not need them, but you might want them. And if you don't have blocks, go ahead and grab some books or some pillows. Just grab any props you think you might need, but let's get started. Go ahead and start seated on your mat. You can have your palms face up for more of an energized, uplifting, and receptive mode, or you can have them face down for more of a grounded vibe. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and close the eyes and start to tune into your breath. Notice if the breath is getting stuck anywhere. Notice the temperature of the breath. Notice the cadence and the rhythm of the breath. And do so while refraining from any judgment. So if you catch yourself judging yourself, your breath, just notice that and just don't judge the judging. Now become aware of all of the contact points of your body and the mat beneath you, or whatever surface you're practicing on. Notice the bum, the feet, the legs, every point that's touching the ground. And now notice any point of your body that's touching another area of your body. So if you're sitting cross-legged, as I am, perhaps you feel your hands on your thighs, your calves up against your hamstrings, your feet touching your inner thighs or your hamstrings. Just identify every point. Become really present. And now I want you to notice any sensations within the body. If you're noticing that maybe you're in a bit of an emotional state, emotionally reactive, or like a sense of urgency, perhaps you feel some heat. Perhaps that urgency is there, or an urge to do something, or say something, or be something. And if you're on the other extreme, or again, it's possible to experience a bit of both, but perhaps you're on the opposite extreme and feeling really reasonable, really logical and pragmatic. So perhaps you feel cool, a little withdrawn, maybe even a little, I'm tempted to say annoyed, but reasonable mind, we're I think of a wall. And I don't mean any of this offensively. I'm just trying to use descriptive words that I myself experience when I'm in either or both of these states of mind. So just notice where you're at. Accept where you're at. And surrender to it. And not to the point where you're allowing it to take control, but where you're just accepting that this is where, saying, this is where I'm at right now. And if you're spiritually inclined, maybe you say to your higher power, to God, to spirit, to your guides, whomever, your angels, hey, spirit, I'm feeling this kind of way today. And I don't really want to stay here, but I'm going to accept that this is where I'm at. And if you've got any guidance for me, please give it to me. I'm here, I'm receptive. And it's important to recognize that in order to become receptive to change, you must first accept where you are at. Start to deepen the breath. Now let's use our asana practice to really develop our wisdom, or tap into our inner wisdom, our body's wisdom. On your next inhale, you can open the eyes, bring the arms up and around, palms face up, bring the hands up. Exhale, palms down, arms down. Inhale, arms up, palms up. Exhale, palms down, arms down. Start to engage that Ujjayi breath if you haven't already. Inhale, arms up, palms up. Exhale, arms down, palms down. Inhale, arms up, palms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hand comes to the outside edge of the right knee. Right hand comes back behind you. Twist from your core. Inhale, extend, lengthen the spine. Exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. Twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist deeper. One more. On your next inhale, unwind, arms come up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, see if you can twist deeper from your core. Two more. Last one. Inhale, both arms up, unwind. Exhale, arms and palms down. Start to take a little bit of cat and cow while you're seated cross-legged. Hands come to knees. Inhale, extend the chest forward into your cow. Exhale, round the spine, belly to spine. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then start to get some movement in here. We're gonna do some Sufi grinds, but if you wanna get a little bit more action in your rib cage and your upper body, go for it. So the Sufi grinds, you just basically grinding around your center. But we're getting a little bit more flowy with our upper body while we do this. This is a great practice. The Sufi grinds are great to do before meditation. It helps you find your center. Make sure you go in the opposite direction. Take one more. And then come on to hands and knees. We're actually going to take it back into a child's pose. toes. So bring the toes together. Exhale, hips go back into child's pose. And then inhale, wave the body forward, rolling up. Come forward over the hands, and then you're gonna bend the elbows into a little mini chaturanga. So bend the elbows, spine is straight from crown to hips. You're gonna keep your elbows tucked near your ribs, and on an exhale, lower. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, roll it up. Shift your weight forward, shoulders are above your fingertips. Exhale, slight bend in the elbows. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, heel, hips to heels. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, mini chaturanga, spine is straight, keep your tummy tucked. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, hips to heels. Couple more. Inhale, roll up through the spine. Exhale, mini chaturanga, bend the elbows. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, hips to heels. Bum to heels. Last one, inhale, roll it up. Exhale, lower in one flat line, all the way down this time. Beautiful. Keep your hands on the sides of your ribs, underneath your shoulders, and on an inhale, start to take a baby cobra here, just lifting up the chest. Keep the gaze down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. See if you can lift the hands off of the mat. Bring the hands down. Bring the upper body back down to the mat. We're going to take that again. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bring the hands off of the mat. You can take the hands back if you'd like. You can keep the palms face down, reaching towards your heels. Feet stay on the mat. Legs are on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, release down to the mat. This time you're going to take your hands and arms and your legs off of the mat. On an inhale, raise everything up. Locust pose. Hold. Remember to breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, release it down to the mat. Beautiful. Bring your hands back to either side of your rib cage. On an inhale, push up through baby cobra. And then you can bring yourself back into your child's pose. Bend the knees. Knees are wide. And take a moment. If at any point this becomes too intense and you just need a little bit of a breather, always feel free to bring yourself into child's pose. Inhale, come forward onto the hands, tuck the toes, and take it into your first downward dog of the practice. You can walk out your dog, bending one knee and then the other. For downward dog, you really want your spine as straight as you can get it from your heels, from the heels of your hands all the way up to your hips. So if you need to bend the knees here to get that straight line, go for it. If your heels are off the mat, that is a-okay. With practice, The heels may find their way to the mat as you lengthen your muscles. There's no rush and there's no pressure. Just be where you are, accept where you are, work with where you are. Inhale, come up high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Inhale. Exhale, start to straighten the knees. Bringing the heels toward the mat. It's okay if they don't touch. And don't go any farther if you feel like your back is moving out of that flat line. Inhale, come up high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Inhale. Exhale, start to straighten the knees. One more. Inhale, come up high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Inhale. Exhale, start to straighten the knees. Inhale, come up onto the toes, bend the knees, gaze comes forward as you exhale, and then start to walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Keep your gaze down, your spine is straight, you're hugging in your belly from all directions like you've got a corset on. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend the knees, and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Slowly, bone by bone. The last thing to come up is your head. When you get to the shoulders, allow the shoulders to come up and then circle down and back. And then your head slowly lifts. And here you are in Tadasana. Bring your palms to face forward, framing your body. Your head is slightly up and back. Your chin is parallel with the ground. Take a breather. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead, hands meet in prayer. Exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward, flat back. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, step that right foot back. Bring the right knee down to the mat. And on an inhale, sweep the arms forward, up overhead into Anjaneyasana. You want to think about your hugging your left hip back, your right hip forward, like you're zipping together your legs, even though they're apart. Take an inhale. And on an exhale, twist to the left, arms come out into a T. Reach like you're reaching for opposite sides of the room, reaching forward and back, finding that middle balance with your center, with your torso. Inhale, unwind, arms come up. Exhale, bring your right hand down to the mat. You can keep your right knee on the mat, or if you want a little bit more heat, go ahead and tuck the back toes. Bring the right knee up off the mat for an easy twist. Left arm is up in the air. Inhale. Exhale, bring that left hand forward, framing the left foot. Exhale, step that right foot in to meet the left. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Now step your left foot back. You're gonna drop your left knee. On an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. You want to think about your right hip hugging back, your left hip hugging forward, like you're zipping together those legs. Inhale, exhale, twist to the right. Reach for opposite sides of the room. Your torso is steady and centered. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, bring the arms up overhead, unwind, and on an exhale, bring your left hand down to the mat. You can tuck the left toes and bring the left knee off of the mat for a little bit more heat, or you can keep your left knee on the mat. On your next exhale, bring the hand down to frame the right foot. Inhale, step the right foot in to meet the left, or the left foot in to meet the right. Take an exhale. Inhale, come up halfway. Tummy is tucked, spine is straight, gaze is down. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms come up overhead, reverse swan dive. Exhale, draw the hands down to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Swan dive forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands come down, step into a plank position and hold. Inhale, start to bring your weight forward. If you need to, drop the knees for your chaturanga. If you'd like, you can keep your knees up. Exhale, bend the elbows, come down in one flat line. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. Inhale, lift that right leg up and back. Keep your hips parallel. Actually, go ahead and open up the hips. Open them up. You can take some circles with that right leg. That feels good for you. If you are taking the circles, make sure to take them in both directions. Now drop the hip back down to parallel with the mat. Your foot may come down quite a bit, that's okay. Inhale, exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, right leg goes back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Right leg back. Inhale, exhale, knee to nose. And then step that right foot between the hands. If it doesn't quite make it all the way, that's okay. Grab the ankle and just scoot the foot forward a bit. Start to come up onto your fingertips, lengthening the spine, and on an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Crescent lunge. Inhale, exhale, take a twist over to the right. Really reach for those two opposite sides of the room. Find your center. Balance extremes. Inhale, arms come up overhead, unwind. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat next to your right foot. If you need to, you can bring your left knee down to the mat for more support. And then bring your right leg back. Otherwise, take both feet back into a side plank. Really hug up on that left side of the body, your left waist. Your right hand is reaching toward the sky. If you want, you can stay here, or you can bring more intensity in by bringing in your right foot to your right, or to your left inner thigh, above the knee. It should not be on top of the knee. Inhale, exhale, bring that right arm back down to the mat. Your right toes meet the left if they were up in a tree pose. Inhale, bring the weight forward. Exhale, knees can come down if you'd like. Otherwise, take a chaturanga. Inhale, you can take upward dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, exhale out the mouth. Inhale, bring that left leg back into a three-legged dog, and then you can open up the hips. Make sure your shoulders stay square. Your weight is equally distributed between your hands. You can bend that left knee and take some circles with that leg. Make sure to take them in both directions. When you've had enough of that hip opening, go ahead and drop the left hip so that it is parallel with the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, left knee to nose. Inhale, take it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. And then step that left foot between the hands. If it doesn't quite make it, you can scoot it forward with your hands. Start to come up on the fingertips. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, crescent lunge. You want to think about your tailbone slightly tucked here. So it's like a straight line, straight as you can make it from the crown of your head down to your hips. If your back knee is a little bent here, that's okay. It's also okay if it's straight. Work with your body, work with where you are. Inhale, exhale, twist to the left. Hands are reaching to opposite sides of the room. Opposite extremes. Find your center. Own your center. Inhale, left arm comes up to meet the right. Unwind. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Your left hand stays up into the air. Start to pivot onto that right foot. If you need to, you're going to take the left foot back to meet the right. Side plank. If you need to bring your right knee down for more support, that's okay. If you want a little bit more intensity, you can take it into tree pose, bringing the left foot into that right inner thigh above the knee. Hug up into that right side body. Remember to breathe. Inhale. Exhale, bring your left hand down, left foot down, back to meet the right. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, if you need to bring your knees down for chaturanga, go for it. Lower in one flat line. Inhale, come up to baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale into your downward dog. Inhale, exhale, side out the mouth. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, bring your gaze forward, and then jump or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana, hug in your tummy. Spine is straight, gaze is down. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up, spine is straight. Exhale, draw the hands down to heart center. And breathe. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out the mouth. Inhale, sweep the ground with your hands And come into Utkatasana, chair pose. You should be able to see your toes. Your feet and knees can be together or they can be separate as mine are. Either one is okay. Just make sure your knees are in the same direction as your toes, but they're not covering your toes. You should be able to see them. You're hugging in your waist from all sides. Your spine is straight from your crown to your hips. Inhale. Exhale, bring those hands down to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Ooh, I need a towel real quick. I'm a little sweaty over here. From here, separate the feet. So heel toe the feet out just slightly. So they're a little bit wider than hips. Bring your left hand to the center, in between your feet to the center of the mat. Bend the left knee, straighten the right knee, and take a twist and a stretch to the right side. Right hand comes up to the sky. Remember to breathe. On your next exhale, switch it up. Bring your right hand to the center of the mat. Switch the bend of the knees. The right knee is bent, left leg is straight. Left arm stretches up on your inhale. On your exhale, bring that left hand down to the mat. You're gonna heel toe out the feet just a little bit wider. You're gonna bend the knees and bring your bum down into Malasana, yogi squat. If you need, you can roll up your mat. If your heels are up off of the mat, that's okay. Just rest them on something, whether that be a rolled up mat, blocks, pillows. Your elbows are supporting the inside edges of your knees. We're going to start to move into the cooling element of the class, the more yin portion, after doing one more yang for mobility. A little bit more movement before settling down. All right, from here, you're gonna drop your right knee down to the mat. Come over, bringing your weight over that left leg. Inhale, exhale, switch so that your left knee comes forward and you're on the right. And if you find this difficult, that's okay. I did two at first. Just place your hands on the ground to help you out. And we're just gonna switch from side to side. This is gonna help you with your mobility. And if you're walking yourself along the mat, that is a-okay. If you are struggling with this movement a little bit, this is something I would recommend doing more often. If you've never done this before and you're like, Alicia, I can't do this. I can't, like, what do you mean more often? Just start out with once a week and then bring it up. Maybe you do it every few days and then maybe every other day. And over time, you'll find that you don't need to put your hands down. Over time, you'll find it's easier for you to place your heels on the back of the mat. And over time, you'll find it easier to be standing up and sitting down without using your hands and just getting up, getting down. Take one more side to side. Remember to breathe. And then when you're done, you can place your hands behind you. And you're going to bring your knees into a 90-90, so face the left side of your mat. When I say 90-90, your legs are at 90-degree angles. So your right leg, your right knee is straight out from your right hip. So there's a 90-degree angle here, a 90-degree 90 degree angle here, a 90 degree angle here. They're far apart. It kind of looks like a swastika. It kind of looks like a swastika. And then when you're done, you can place your hands behind you. And you're going to bring your knees into a 90-90, so face the left side of your mat. When I say 90-90, your legs are at 90-degree angles. So your right leg, your right knee is straight out from your right hip. So there's a 90-degree angle here, a 90-degree angle here. They're far apart. It kind of looks like a swastika. What you're gonna do is just bring your weight over, take a slight side bend over to the right. You can bring your hand up overhead or behind the head. We are now entering into the yin portion of the class. So we'll be holding these positions for a couple minutes each. Some may be longer than others. If you'd like in this position, I really enjoy putting my right hand on my right ankle, creating that connection to my body. I feel the intensity of this on the right inner groin area. Remember with yin that some intense things can come up because we're unlocking the emotional body. And so just be patient with yourself, be loving and compassionate with yourself. And allow whatever comes up to come up. Give yourself a safe space. Give your emotions, your thoughts, your memories a safe space. If you see me checking my watch, it's just to check the time, so I can keep us even in all the poses. I don't have a clock in here. That might be helpful. Start to bring that left hand down. And you'll notice that there's an intense stretch on the left side of the shoulder, from the shoulder up to the neck. You can reach that left hand away to intensify that stretch. You can even bring your chin down to your right shoulder for a little bit deeper of a stretch. Well, deeper and different. It's not necessarily deeper, it's just different actually. Inhale, start to come out of that side bend, and then you're gonna walk yourself to relax over the left knee. If it's too intense to come all the way down like that, that's okay. Go where you can. Work with where you're at. So you might be up off of your knee, and that's okay. You might be all the way down on your knee, and that's okay. Just find that deep stretch and try to relax into it. Remember to send your breath into any sticky spots. Send your breath where it's the most intense. On every inhale, and then on every exhale, see if you can relax a little deeper into the pose.
hunt for any areas of tension where you may be holding tension and see if you can just soften that tension with your breath. Allowing gravity to work for you. Notice if you feel any urges to move, wiggle, or fidget, and just notice them, just sit with them. You can see if as you place your loving attention on it, if you can allow them to soften. Start to walk yourself up off of your leg. And if you'd like, you can find a rebound pose lying on your mat. You can find Shavasana, or bringing your knees out, feet together, knees in, feet apart, and just find some stillness. Or your other option is to find a little bit, very slight movement. You can take some windshield wipers with the legs, left to right, gentle and slow. Regardless of which position you took, whether it's rebound or a little bit of movement, we're going to take the opposite side. So you can just shift over to the right. I'm going to do it differently just so I'm, say, facing the camera. Find 90-90 with your legs. So 90-degree angles, right angles, out from your hips with your knees and your legs. And then you're gonna start to take a slight side bend over to the left. Notice what's coming up for you in each pose. Sometimes it can almost feel like so intense that it brings up some nausea or some disgust or some that it can really vary depending on the person and the pose. So just notice. What shouldn't be happening is any sharp pain. Discomfort, yes. Sharp pain, no. So if at any point you experience sharp pain, please back away from the pose gently and patiently and find child's pose. Start to reach that right arm down to the side, finding a stretch in the shoulder and neck. You can really reach away with the right fingertips. And start to come
out of your side bend. And then position your upper body so that it's over your right knee and start to come forward onto that knee as far as you can. Again, no sharp pain. Relax into it. Send your breath to any sticky areas. Allow your breath in combination with gravity to help you soften and release deeper into the pose. Begin to bring yourself up off of your knee, off of the ground. And you can take your rebound, or if you did windshield wipers on the opposite side, go ahead and do those again. Dropping in the right knee and then the left. Moving slowly, with ease, with grace, with softness. And now, let's see. You're just gonna take your legs out wide, but not as wide as you would normally take them. So say this angle where I've got my legs right now, for example. If this is your widest position, then you wanna take the legs in about 25%. So you're only at about 75% of where you would normally be. So that's gonna look different for every single person, and that is the beauty of you, of yoga, of being. And you're just going to start to walk yourself forward. If you need a cushion, a pillow, a block, just to support yourself as you make your way down, that's okay. If you do have blocks nearby or cushions, you can always walk your elbows onto the blocks or onto the cushions. You can bring your elbows down to the mat and bring your forehead to the block. Make sure your knees are in line with your feet. So don't allow the feet to just flop forward. Keep them in line with your knees. As time passes, you may want to release deeper into the pose. And if this is too intense, and you're like, I just don't want my legs out like this, Alicia, why are you doing this? That's fine. Just bend the knees, bring your feet in, and you can fold forward like so. Another option is you can do one leg at a time. So you keep your left knee bent, your right leg out, and then I'll let you know when we're halfway through and you can switch. If you do have any movement, it's either because you're going deeper into the pose or because you're switching legs. And again, I will let you know when we're halfway through. We are halfway through the pose. If you would like to switch your legs, if you're doing one at a time. Again, if you have any sharp pain, please move gently and slowly out of this pose. We want to avoid any injuries, but we also want to sit with any discomfort. In yoga, discomfort is welcome a lot of the time. And it's okay to find comfort within the discomfort, especially in yin. So that's why props can be good, cushions can be great. But pain, we do not want sharp pain. Start to bring yourself out of the pose slowly and gently. You can bring your feet together if you had your legs out in a straddle. And we're going to start to take it down to the mat. Well, we've been down on the mat, but start to lower. You know, I am tempted, if you are ready to end the class, go ahead and take a Shavasana and then take yourself out. But if you're willing to do one or two more poses with me, Actually, we're gonna do 4 more poses. We're gonna make them shorter. If you wanna join me, please stay with me. We're gonna run a little bit over 60 minutes. But if you're ready to end the class, go ahead, take Shavasana and take yourself out. No worries. Just thought I'd give that as an option. So you're gonna bring your right knee over your left knee. If that's too intense, you can keep your left leg straight for half Gomukhasana, or this is shoelace technically in Yin. It is more intense with both knees bent. You may want to have a block or cushion nearby. Knees are stacked. And slowly walk yourself down to rest onto your block if you've got one. If you don't, no worries, just relax forward. Notice any urges to fidget and just sit with them. Notice any intensity this pose is bringing up and sit with it. Notice any emotions or thoughts that are coming up and just allow them. Don't try to push them away. What you resist persists. And start to slowly walk yourself out of this pose. Moving gently. We're going to take a very short rebound. So if you want, you can come into Shavasana really quick, bringing the legs down. You can allow your knees to fall in as your feet are wide on the mat. Toes point in, heels are out. And just notice where you feel the energy moving. Notice any sensations. Notice any warmth. And then slowly bring yourself back up to take the other side. And I know that was a short rebound, but we are going over in time, so I'm just trying to work with what we got here. If you need to stay longer in any pose, that is a-okay. So now your left knee is on top again. If you need to have your right bottom leg straight, that is more than okay. Work with where you're at, find your center, and then relax forward over the knees. Notice if you're holding any tension, and just try to breathe into that area and see if you can relax and go a little deeper. Soften. Start to bring yourself slowly and gently out of the pose. And if you took a rebound on the opposite side, go ahead and take that same rebound pose now. Notice where in the body you feel any sensations, any tingles, any heat. That is your life force energy, your chi. Take one more cycle of breath here. And then you're going to lengthen your legs out onto the mat. Tuck your hands underneath your buttocks. And then start to shift your elbows in. You're gonna start to prop yourself up onto your elbows, bringing your forearms parallel with each other and with the long edges of your mat. And then slowly start to bring your head back. Taking fish pose. A heart opener. Amazing for the throat chakra as well. An option, if you have a block or a wide pillow, is to bring that as a supported fish by bringing that block or that pillow or bolster underneath by your bra bone, by your bra line, and then relaxing back. And if you don't wear a bra, just imagine where the bra would be. It's underneath the shoulder blades, near the ribs, the bottom of the ribs, but not quite at the bottom of the ribs, just near. If you are using a support for supported fish, start to bring your arms close to your sides, and like you'd be going into a fish pose, and start to come up onto your elbows and slowly, and now regardless of which pose you're in, slowly and gently bring your head up. No sudden movements. Remove the support if you've got it. If you're on your elbows, walk those elbows back out. Slowly come onto your back. We're going to take a supine twist to both sides. I said 4 poses, but I really meant 6 if you're including Shavasana. My bad. So bring your knees in so that your feet are on the ground, knees are bent. Bring your right foot, actually let's do the left. The left knee comes over to the right. Swing your hips over to the right. And then drop the knees down to the left. Hands can come out into a T or a cactus, and your gaze goes over to the right. If this is too intense with the knees crossed, go ahead and uncross them. Start to bring the knees back up to center. Bring the hips back to neutral and switch the cross of the knees. So now the right knee is over the left. Swing the hips over to the left and bring the knees down to the right. Your gaze goes over to the left. And if you feel comfortable doing so, and if they aren't already, feel free to close your eyes. Bring the knees back up to center. Neutralize the hips. And then bring yourself into your Shavasana corpse pose. Stretching out the legs down to the mat. Allow your toes to fall out, your heels to fall in. And your palms are facing up. Arms are on either side of you. You can even bring in your shoulder blades ever so slightly to open up the heart just a bit. And check in with yourself. Check in with your body. Check in with your emotions. Check in with your mind and your logic. And check in with your wise mind. Ask yourself, am I in wise mind now? Bring your attention to your center, to your inner being. To your gut. And allow your awareness to stay with your center. Both your emotions and your reason are gifts. They give you vital information. And they are most appropriately applied when they can be brought together and infused, finding balance between emotion and reason, synergizing the two, respecting the two, finding the value in each, and then walking the middle path, using your inner wisdom. Your inner wisdom and your inner compass have your best interest at heart. They have the best interest of all souls involved at heart. And it's important to return to yourself when making any decisions on how to proceed. And it may take time, and it may take practice. In fact, it will definitely take both. But with time and with practice, tapping into your wise mind will get easier. It will often become faster. It will become more automatic. Be easy with yourself in the process. Be patient with yourself in the process. And give yourself grace as you go through the process, because you deserve it. And so does the situation that you are maneuvering. Lead by example. Start to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Create bigger movement, circling the wrists and the ankles. Growing that movement even more, starting to stretch the arms up overhead, getting a nice big stretch from your toes to your fingers. And on an exhale, roll over to one side, bending the knees, resting your head on your lower arm. Notice if you have the tendency to bring your top arm in front of you to block or guard your heart. And just notice that. Try not to judge it, just notice. On an exhale, start to bring yourself up off of the mat, slowly, gently, and keeping your eyes closed. Come to find a cross-legged seated position. we're gonna end with 3 ohms. For the first one, on an inhale, we're gonna circle the arms up overhead, hands will meet in prayer, and on an exhale, guide them down in front of your heart center while chanting Om. And then we'll chant 2 more Ohms and close the practice. Inhale, circle the arms up. Bow your chin to your chest and thank yourself for making it to your practice, for honoring yourself, and for prioritizing yourself, your health, and your well-being. Bow your head to the ground, thanking Mother Earth Gaia for supporting your journey, your experience, and allowing you to thrive off of her resources and her energy. Thank your higher power and bring yourself back up. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this practice, and I hope that you were able to connect in with your wise mind. I hope that it serves you, and I wish you the very best and a beautiful day. Namaste.